If you've been in the situation where someone comes up to you talking about SEO and you nod your head politely, acting like you know what they're talking about, but really have no idea, that's what we're going to talk about today. So you have a better understanding of what SEO is. So you can go from SEO, I don't know, to SEO semi-pro. Let's get into it. Okay, the first thing, what even is SEO? It's search engine optimization. So when someone searches for anything, Google will go and scrape all the websites that might contain information about that thing. And it's going to provide the websites that answer that they think best in order from top to bottom. This is your search rankings. If you are a business or something like that, it makes a lot of sense for you to be at the top of that list so that people are coming to your website versus another one. They're calling you versus someone else, and you get those dollars versus someone else. An example I like to use with this is if you have a friend who talks about a certain topic a ton. So let's talk about smoking brisket. And they talk about it all the time. You suddenly now want to start smoking brisket. Where are you going to go? You're going to go to that friend because they've essentially established themselves as an authority to you about someone who knows how to smoke brisket, because they do it all the time. They talk about it all the time. They won't shut up about it. But that's been a really good thing because you know where to go when you have questions for it. Think of that the same way for websites and Google. If someone is looking for dog breeding or an HVAC contractor or how to tie my shoes, there are websites out there that have talked about that enough, or written about it rather, so that Google understands that as an authority and it will put those things to the top of the list. Okay, there's a few nuanced things that go into this as well. Location plays a factor in search results. So if you're looking for a local business, your proximity to a business that does the thing you're looking for will change who shows up at the top, right? So if you're in Salt Lake City looking for an HVAC contractor, you're going to see at the top of the list HVAC contractors who are based in Salt Lake City versus somewhere like North Carolina. It would not be a good experience for you to see HVAC contractors in North Carolina who could not help you with the problem. So that plays an element into this as well. So that starts us off with a good understanding of what search engine optimization is, how you might be able to do a couple things to get up there, but let's get more into those details of what helps you rank in search engine optimization. Now, all the things that you should do, that's gonna be like 10 different videos or one really, really long video of things that you can do. But generally speaking, the practices are fairly simple. You want to be putting the right information on your website. So you've probably heard the term keywords. That's a phrase or something that you want to show up for. So an example of HVAC contractor, that's a keyword. If you want to be showing up for HVAC contractor, you should be working that into as many places as possible across your social media, your website, and your Google business profile. Do it artfully. Don't just say HVAC contractor, HVAC contractor, HVAC contractor. Work that phrase in as frequently as possible without sounding ridiculous. So you can say something like, we are the premier HVAC contractor for Salt Lake City. We handle all your HVAC needs. Call us for an HVAC emergency, and you can start working in other elements in that situation like furnace, AC, other elements that you also want to show up for. You don't have to narrow it down to just one because there's definitely combined keywords that show up for a business. But find those keywords that you're looking for and artfully put them across your web page, your social profiles, and again, your Google business profile. The next thing you need to know about SEO is that consistency is key. So like your friend who's always talking about smoking brisket, you want to have a platform where you're always talking about the thing that you show up for. Now, ways that you can do that is by publishing blog articles or other elements like that. Blog articles are a great way to establish trust and authority within search engines. People can go in and also read those articles. It does happen, but not as frequently for as much good as it does for the search engines. The place where you want to go to establish authority with potential customers is going to be with video on social media. Now, if all of this sounds a bit daunting because there's so many elements that you have to keep track of and monitor and make sure that they're done correctly, I would highly recommend the software that I use for myself and a lot of clients to handle all of that back-end stuff, to write it out for me, to know that I'm hitting the right keywords for my customers, rather clients, and for my own website, I use Search Atlas. Search Atlas is an AI-powered SEO software that takes care of all of that information for you. If you're familiar with other SEO tools, they can do things like point you in the right direction of things that you should pay attention to or maybe update, and you go and do those on your own. Search Atlas actually goes and does the work for you. And starting at $99 a month, it is worth every penny to know that everything across your website, your Grow Business profile, the blog articles that you're beginning to publish are all cohesive in sending the message that you want to out to your customers. If you're interested in giving it a try, you can go to my link down in the description, where instead of the standard 7-day free trial, you can actually bump it up and get a 14-day free trial. I also will help onboard with a couple of things if you would like through that process, where you can schedule one call with me every week to walk through getting you up and going using Search Atlas. Additionally, Search Atlas has a massive library of support articles, videos, and staff, like support team, to help you get going so that you do not fail. Let's get into one more term that you may have heard and have questions about, and that's backlinks. Backlinks are essentially when another website links your website on theirs. This is a really big signal to Google that you are an authority on the topic that you're talking about. You're so much of an authority that other websites are actually linking to you to push people to you to get the information that they're looking for. There's a number of ways that you can naturally get backlinks to your website. That would be including your website on every single one of your social profiles. All of those count as backlinks. You can also reach out to other websites that are in your same industry and ask them if they're willing to do it. They may ask you to pay for it. Generally speaking, you're not supposed to, but it happens. And one of the last things to round out your understanding of what SEO is and what goes into it is just that if you begin taking steps to improve your rankings through some of the things we've talked about, you will not necessarily see results tomorrow. There's a lot of things that you need to do over time that will benefit you showing up at the top of rankings. The one thing I always like to tell people with this is that SEO is like planting a tree. When was the best time to plant a tree? It was 10 years ago. When's the next best time? It's today. So SEO, treat it the same way. Yeah, it would have been great if you had started years ago on your SEO, but if you start today, you'll begin to build that momentum of you showing up, and you will start to see more visitors come to your site. In essence, search engine optimization is a way to get you to show up without necessarily paying for ads, because with ads, you will show up, you'll get in front of potential customers, but as soon as those ads turn off, so do you. You're gone. Search engine optimization, if done right and over time, even if you're not paying for ads, naturally, or rather organically, you should be climbing to the top of the list when people are looking for what you do. And with that, I'm hoping you've taken steps away from the SEO, I don't know, to SEO semi-pro. There's a lot more that goes into the nuances of how these are carried out. There's much more beyond it, but generally speaking, this is how it works. This is what people are trying to do. This is when someone brings this to you, you can do all of it, but really they're going to save you the time so that you can go focus on your other elements of your business that make the most sense. If you're an agency, you are selling freedom of time to your customers as well as getting them to show up so they get higher rankings and they can sell more. But the biggest piece, especially at the beginning, is going to be the time that you save them. As always, I hope you learned something today. If you did, I would greatly appreciate a like and a follow. It would mean the world to me as I grow this channel and teach more people about how to build their business through SEO efforts, both free and paid, everything in between, but you can become an expert. If you want to check out Search Atlas, again, that link is in the description for that extended free trial, and I will see you in the next one.